Today we are going to be solving systems by elimination, but this time we're going to be using multiplication. So like our last lesson, the steps for solving systems by using elimination is you first line up the x and y's. Make sure it's in standard form. And then we have to find opposite coefficients. But these problems are not going to have opposite coefficients. We're going to have to create them. So what we're going to do is find the least common multiple of either the x or the y, and then multiply one or both of the equations by the least common multiple to create the opposite coefficients. Once you have that, you're going to add the equations together to eliminate one of the variables. Solve for the remaining variable and then substitute in the variable to find the other. And then don't forget to write your answer as an ordered pair. So let's look at an example. This first example is when only one equation needs to be multiplied. So we have x plus 10y equals 3 and 4x plus 5y equals 5. So if you look at the x's, we can change x by multiplying it by something to look like 4x. And that would be 4. But we also need opposite signs. So we need one of these equations to be negative. So we're just going to multiply the whole equation by negative 4. When you multiply, negative 4 times x gives us negative 4x. Negative 4 times 10y is negative 40y. And negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Go on and rewrite the second equation as is. 4x plus 5y equals 5. And make sure you line up your x's and y's. And then we are going to add straight down. Negative 4x plus 4x cancels out. Negative 40y plus 5y gives us negative 35y. And then negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. Now we need to solve for y. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 35. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 7 divided by 35. We cannot simplify to get a whole number, so we're just going to divide it and get a decimal. When we divide that, we get 0.2. That is our y. After we find our y, we need to find our x. So let's substitute it into the top equation. We have x plus 10y equals 3. We substitute in our y, we get x plus 10 times 0.2 equals 3. 10 times 0.2 gives us 2. We write everything else as is. Subtract 2 from both sides, and we get x to equal 3 minus 2 is 1. So our solution is the point 1, 0.2. Now let's look at the next example. We have 3x minus 2y equals negative 7. 2x minus 5y equals 10. If you look at the x's here, 2 or 3 cannot become 2 by multiplication, and 2 cannot become 3 in multiplication. And if you look at the y's, the same thing. 2 cannot become 5 by multiplication, and 5 cannot become 2 in multiplication. So now we need to find the least common multiple to get the same number for either the x or the y's. Here we're going to focus on the y's. So we have 2 and 5. The least common multiple there is 10. So this top equation, we're going to multiply the whole thing by 5. Because 5 times 2 gives us 10. And the bottom equation, we're going to multiply the whole thing by 2. Because 2 times 5 gives us 10. We have a negative and a negative. We need opposite signs. So this bottom one, we're just going to multiply by -2 to get a negative and negative, make a positive for that opposite sign. Now let's rewrite our equations. Distribute 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times -2y is -10y. And 5 times -7 is -35. Let's simplify the bottom equation. -2 times 2x is -4x. -2 times -5y is a positive 10y. And -2 times 10 is -20. Now if you look at our y's, we have the same number and opposite signs. So now we're just going to add straight down. 15x minus 4x gives us 11x. Our y's cancel. -35 minus 20 is -55. We get x by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 11. X cancels out. 11's cancel out. We get x to equal -55 divided by 11 is -5. Now let's find our y. Let's use the top equation. So 3x minus 2y equals -7. Substitute x in. So 3 times -5 minus 2y equals -7. 3 times -5 is -15. Bring down everything else as is. Add 15 to both sides. Cancels out. Bring down -2y equaling -7 plus 15 gives us a positive 8. Divide -2 from both sides. Cancels out. So x is going to equal -4. Oops, not x. That would be y equals. Now we have our x and we have our y, so we write our coordinate, -5, -4. Let's look at the next problem here. We have 2x plus 3y equals 4, and -x plus 2y equals 5. If you look here, the easiest variable to eliminate is going to be our x. So we have a 2x and a -x. Can we make one of these x's look like the other by multiplication? We can. We can take x and multiply it by 2 to get our 2x. So let's take the whole equation and multiply by 2. Now let's check our signs. Do we have opposite signs? We have a positive and a negative. We do. So let's go on and multiply this through. So we have our first equation, 2x plus 3y equals 4. Now multiply 2 times -x is -2x. 2 times 2y is 4y. And 2 times 5 is 10. Add straight down. Now our x's, as you see, they cancel out. 3y plus 4y is 7y. 4 plus 10 is 14. Divide both sides by 7. We get y to equal 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now we need to find x. So if we use the top equation, 2x plus 3y equals 4. Substitute y in. And then we are going to simplify. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down everything else as is. Subtract 6 from both sides. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Divide both sides by 2. And we get x to equal negative 1. So our solution is the point negative 1, 2. Let's look at the next problem. Actually, this problem, I want you to pause the video, try it, come back to the video, and check your work once you're done. Okay, let's check your work. We have 4x minus 3y equals 22, and x minus 0.5y equals 5. So here, the easiest variable to eliminate is going to be our x. So we have 4x and x. What do we need to multiply to get these to be the same? We're going to take our bottom equation and multiply it by 4, because 4 times x gives us a 4x. Now check our signs. We have a positive and a positive. So we need to make this one a negative. So we're going to multiply the whole bottom equation by negative x. So rewrite the first equation. Now multiply. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 0.5y gives us a positive 2y. And then negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Add straight down. Our x's now cancel. Negative 3y plus 2y is negative 1y, or negative y. And then 22 minus 20 is 2. Now we need to get y positive, so all we're going to do is change the sign. So y equals negative 2. Now let's find our x. We use our top equation. 4x minus 3y equals 22. Substitute negative 2 in. Negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. Bring down everything else as is. Subtract 6 from both sides. We get 4x equal 22 minus 6 gives us 16. Divide both sides by 4. X equals 4. And our solution would be our coordinate point 4, negative 2. Okay, now let's look at a couple word problems. The difference of 3 times the number x and y is equal to negative 4. 2 times the number x plus 2 times the number y is equal to 72. Find the numbers. So, this first part, the difference of 3 times the number x. So difference is subtraction. 3 times the number x is 3x. And we're subtracting the difference of 3 times the number x and y. So we're subtracting y. That's equal to negative 4. And then the second equation, 2 times the number x. So 2x plus 2 times a number y. So 2y equals 72. Now, we need to eliminate one of these variables to find the number. So we need to solve for x and then solve for y. So should we eliminate our x's or should we eliminate our y's? We should eliminate our y's. This way will be the easiest way because we can change the top y to look like the bottom y. We take the top equation and multiply it by 2, our y's will end up canceling out. So let's rewrite it. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times negative y minus 2y equals 2 times negative 4, negative 8. We write the bottom equation as is. Now, our y's have the same number, same coefficient, and opposite signs. So we are good to now eliminate. So add straight down, our y's cancel. 6x plus 2x gives us 8x. Negative 8 plus 72 gives us 64. Divide both sides by 8. Cancels out. X is going to equal 64 divided by 8 gives us 8. Now we need to solve for our y. So if we use the first equation, 3x minus y equals negative 4. So 3 times 8 minus y equals negative 4. 3 times 8 is 24. We're going to subtract 24 from both sides. Get negative y to equal negative 28. And then divide both sides by negative 1, so y equals positive 28. So our two numbers, our x and our y, is 8 and 28. Let's look at the last problem here. Nathan sells 5 cupcakes and 6 lollipops for $10.75. Olivia sells 3 cupcakes and 4 lollipops for $6.75. How much do they cost? So we need to know how much the cupcake costs and how much the lollipop costs. So we're going to say x is equal to our cupcakes. And y is equal to our lollipops. So let's write the first equation. 5 cupcakes and 6 lollipops. So it's going to be 5x plus 6y. And that is equal to $10.75. The second equation, 3 cupcakes, so 3x, plus 4 lollipops, so 4y, is equal to $6.75. So, we need to figure out how much each cupcake and each lollipop cost. So can we eliminate our x's or y's? Here, it looks like the easiest one we're going to eliminate is going to be our y's. The least common multiple here is 12. So we're going to take the top equation and multiply it by 2. 2 times 6 gives us 12. And then the bottom equation, 4 times what gives you 12? That would be 3. Now look, do we have opposite signs? This is positive and this is positive. It's not, so we're going to multiply the bottom by a negative. So now let's rewrite our equations. 2 times 5x gives us 10x. 2 times 6y is 12y. And 2 times 10.75 is 21.50. Now let's multiply the bottom equation. -3 times 3x is -9x. -3 times 4y is -12y. And -3 times 6.75 is 20.25. Now we can check our y's. We have the same coefficient and opposite signs, so we will be eliminating our y's. So they cancel out. 10x minus 9x gives us a 1x, or just x. And then this should be negative. So 21.50 minus 20.25 gives us $1.25. Now let's find how many lollipops there are y. So if we take our top equation, 5x plus 6y equals 10.75, and substitute in $1.25 for x. So 5 times 1.25 plus 6y equals 10.75. Multiply. 5 times 1.25 is 6.25. Bring down everything else as is. We're going to subtract 6.25 from both sides. Get 6y to equal 10.75 minus 6.25 is 4.50. Divide both sides by 6. And we get y to equal 0.75, so 75 cents. So cupcakes, or one cupcake, is equal to $1.25, and one lollipop is equal to 75 cents. So that is your lesson today on solving systems of equations by elimination with using multiplication. Please reach out if you have any questions.